Alright, welcome. This is Nick Marine presenting Let's Learn Japanese, a course series for the self-study of Japanese from basics and beginnings up to intermediate and hopefully advanced. Alright, as usual, this is a Let's Read Japanese video, so the idea up above will be the video or audio of something playing. Off to the side will be the text of what's playing, and I'll be reading along. If I see something I don't know, I pause and look it up with the pop-up dictionary. Alright, basically you can do it. Try to what I usually recommend, even though I don't follow my own advice, try to read about an hour or so a day. Once you get past, once you get about a couple thousand words under your belt, you're in that what's called the N3 category if you're doing it for Japanese. And the number of words might vary based on the language. Although I'm gonna guess like that's gonna be the same for many languages. Once you get like a couple thousand words, you can actually start reading to literacy. Reading has to be a part of your repertoire when you're doing learning. And and of course, obviously, just keep learning vocabulary words as you normally would. The show here, Neon Genesis Evangelion, if you saw last stream, it was very difficult for me. Those first two episodes, it took me a long time just to get through those two. Because again, what I'm doing is, I see something I don't know, I'm pausing it, but there was a lot of military jargon, science, some fantasy, in the fact that there were sci-fi, some sci-fi jargon as well, because we're dealing with some made-up terms. The story seemed interesting. I only got, and again, it's a complete series, so it's 26 episodes, so I will be going through the whole series. And it's got some of the your general anime tropes, especially with the one lady character. But I assume that again you're gonna actually start enjoying all the characters as time goes on, and I'm guessing like it's not going to be a happy story. It might be I'm guessing it'll be like one of those what was the term? Bittersweets, where hey, a lot of bad stuff happens, but again, in the end, like it's not a happily ever after, but again, people are going to be in a better place, hopefully, or at least the main existential threat will be defeated, so again, life can go on through whatever heartaches had to come about. Alright, and just like I thought, like I said, this is, if you're wondering, hey, how the heck am I doing this? Most of my videos I do like this get demonetized instantly, mainly because of the music, so that's no problem. When it comes to what is called about fair use, the idea is like, okay, what I'm doing here, will that mean that hey, no one would feel the need to go watch Neon Genesis Evangelion? And I'd say yeah, that's a no. This kind of falls under the idea of when it comes to fair use when it comes to education, in that okay, hey, look, I am learning this, and now critique. In my case, what I'm doing is I see something I don't know, I'm looking it up. Okay, so that's part of that falls under the critique aspect. I'm not trying to legalize it or anything, because again, I'm not a lawyer. Just that again, I'm not doing this for the purpose of trying to skirt copyright, so other people can then come to my channel and I get all this money because from somebody else's work. So the main purpose of this is people come to the channel to see what I'm doing in the process of learning Japanese, and they in turn find something that's entertaining to watch. Okay. And it's not like, oh, if they had a choice between watching Neon Genesis Evangelion on Netflix or Japanese Netflix, I don't know if it's on US Netflix, or doing this, I think, again, people are going to go to the Japanese Netflix. That's it. I seriously doubt, yeah, this will make, oh yeah, no one will even need to bother watching the series, if that makes sense. So again, there are some reasons. Like I said, copyright is not something like magical, like, oh, I made something, no one's ever able to use that ever again without paying me. That's not how copyright works. It's meant to be protection, but it's rational protections. All right, sorry about getting into discussion about this. Sometimes they'll pop up, especially when it comes to these. Now, oddly enough, I think this is probably safer than when you think about audiobooks, because audiobooks, there's no images, whereas a big thing about dramas and anime is that again, there's a visual media, so again, make sure like 2/3 of the image is cut off, and I'm posting subtitles on it in big font, so that which again detracts from the visual media of it. That's that. But you don't worry about that part when it comes to an audiobook. So it says you are getting the entire audio. And again, what helps there is that, again, I'm pausing it all the time, looking up stuff. And sometimes offering commentary. Alright, enough of that. And again, as I'm usually doing, I'm admitting to my own failures. So again, I'm not studying as much as I should. I'm not learning any new words. I need to catch up on reviews. I keep saying that, and I'm not catching up. Alright, so again, my level, if anybody ever wants to know, my level in Japanese is low. Yes, I'm reading Japanese, which to some people is like, oh my god, that's amazing. But again, once you've learned Japanese, you realize, okay, reading Japanese is not that amazing. Plus, when you watch it, you see I'm looking up a lot of stuff. So there's that. And there's no guarantee that my comprehension is correct. Like, I could be getting some stuff wrong, which, again, happened last video and previous videos as well. I might misinterpret a word. I might misinterpret what a phrase is saying. That just happens. But as you read more, you do get better at that, you know. I think I posted recently, is this the idea here? Those basic 2,000 words are going to pop up when I say, hey, get into it. You're going to be running into those all the time. You're going to move that vocabulary into a different part of the brain that, you know, quickly comprehends stuff. So it's going to just intuitively understand a word when it hears it. You know, it doesn't have to understand without thinking about it. When it comes to words after that, because they're, you know, the first 2,000 words are used 75% of the time, then the next 2,000 words are used 15% of the time. So you have to kind of read 6 times as much just to kind of get the exposure to those words as you did with the first 2,000, what you would do for just the first 2,000. And then the next 2,000 words after that, you just used 5% of the time. So we're only up to 6,000 words. We're at 95%. That 2,000 is used 5% of the time. Now you got to read like 20 times as much. That's the reason why they're saying, like, if you want to become good in language, you have to read a lot. And you only have so much time a day, so hence the whole idea behind the immersion approach, the mass immersion, or all Japanese all-timer equivalent. It's just to get these words that you've learned, so that's why they want you to learn the words first and then get exposed to it through the native material, which the best way to do that is through reading, because most likely you have better comprehension. Now, if you get better comprehension with listening, go with that. Same idea applies. You know, you just got to get exposed to those words. There is a big difference between the reading and listening. So, you know, do both. And for me, I kind of double it up by reading to audio. All right. So that's the podcast. That's the blog portion of the thing out of the way. Anyway, here's, I have no idea how to pronounce it. This seems tedious to do every day. I don't know how people do it all day for years. Reading? No, again, you just read every day. That's not tedious. If you don't find reading tedious, it's not. Or watching an anime. Or watching a drama. If you don't find watching dramas or anime every day is tedious, you know, it's just up to you. You don't do what I'm doing here, because again, you don't have to do a live broadcast. And you don't have to read the audio, it's just something I enjoy doing. You can just sit there and, you know, again, I've got books, I can grab a book and read it, that's not a problem. I just enjoy reading to audio. And I enjoy doing also YouTube videos, so I make videos of me doing what I'm doing for Japanese. That's kind of it. So hopefully, if you did exactly what I'm doing, yeah, that's tedious. But don't do exactly what I'm doing. So, unless you want to expand on that, what do you mean by what seems tedious to do every day? Or if you're talking about reading or you're talking about studying, what is it you don't like doing every day that you think is tedious? Okay, with that, I'll start getting started. All right, we're at 10 minutes, so yeah, let's get into it. Alright, so we're on episode 3. I'm going to play through the intro song again. I might do that a couple more times. Turn the audio down to 30. Alright, so same as before, you should be able to hear me, but the background noise won't be as distracting. Okay. Cruel Angel, due to the Cruel Angel, Shonen becomes a myth, or yeah, becomes a legend. Young boy becomes a legend.
の心を克服できず、
克服努力してこんなんな。自分の心を克服で。
美里からも逃げ出すシンジ。だが組織は少年をあっさりと連れ戻す。
組織。
そこに優しい言葉はなかった。
あっさりと。
次回雨逃げ出した後。
雨逃げ出した後。Rain after this.
この次もサービス。
Okay, so we're at, let's see, so that again took about an hour, which is weird because I thought it was going by much faster. Like that felt a lot better than that was like pretty much like the first episode, and that had a lot of, again, military terminology about the attacks, some of the fantasy terms. But half it's about school, so that part went fast. Once the attack happened, there was a lot of pausing, trying to get it a little bit about some phrases for the boys. But for the most part, you can see like when it's a normal conversation, there's really not too much of a need to stop, and then just pausing to kind of get a hold of the storyline, looking up the words. So it's like, okay, cool, I got a better grasp of the story. So again, it's having fun reading the story. Yeah, okay, I got to look up stuff. Sometimes look at a lot of times look up the definitions or translation in English. But again, it just allows you to follow the story, and most of it is in Japanese that you're following. When you think of it like that, and hence the fun part. Now, I usually probably would say is like, if you're fighting the story this much, like I'm doing here, maybe back off and find a simpler story. Again, kind of like what I recommend is like slice of life is probably much better. You're not running into words that you're never going to see outside of the story you happen to be watching. Usually the complicated stuff is the people's names, and even then you get used to that. You get used to who is what by their names. All right, cool. So, in fact, let me see how many people are watching at the moment. Shouldn't be too many. 6 people are watching. Okay, hey guys. All right. So let me turn up the TV a little bit. I'm going to go. Yeah, these Japanese subs I got off a website called Kitsuneko. It's a very well-known website for getting subs in English, Chinese, Korean, Japanese, for Japanese animated shows. So yeah, check that out for any. Then also what you can do, because this is on Netflix, is in fact, yeah, in Netflix. So because this show happens to be on Netflix, you might have to use the VPN to get access to it. But since this episode's on Netflix, you can download the subtitles directly using a plugin called Subadub. So again, that's a beautiful thing right now. It's like, hey, look, subtitles are kind of not the issue anymore. So that's actually really cool. And I like the idea that, like, if you like to read the audiobooks are not an issue anymore. They're expensive, but they're not an issue. Same with access to books. Again, it got, because of Amazon being what it is, you can get again, digital formats, which I think it's easier to read books in a digital format. It's probably more fun and relaxing with paper, but with digital, if you see a word you don't know, just look it up, boom, you're done. Or if you're one of those types, got to add it to Anki, copy, paste, yeah. Well, you start to take a tea break. Yeah, so, yeah, that was episode 3. I'm going to be starting up episode 4, but I need to take a break real quick. Be right back. And also, meats. Turn on the hot water. コンバースが好きなんですよ、めっちゃ。このシリーズ。これが多分2、3丁あるんじゃないですか。これはそうじゃないですか。一緒だ。そう。はい。コンバースの5テーマ。お気に入り
次はスニーカー界不朽の名作コンバースのオールスター。始まりは降雪量の多いアメリカ・マサチューセッツ州。雪の中でも作業できるようにと開発されたラバーシューズ。その後バスケットボール専用のシューズとして改良。特徴あるハイカットは足首を保護するためでしたが、デザインが斬新と世界中から愛されるようになった名スニーカー。森田さん、長年変わらないデザインだからこそできるある買い方があって、
これを嫌いになることはないですよ。だからこれがボロボロだったらまたこれを履くんですよ。ってなったら新しいさっきストックを置いときたいです。はい。だから赤なんめっちゃ赤はやっぱ好きなんですよ。だからそれのこと入る。赤だけで。これでも赤ですね。今赤の新品が4足ある。
コンバースと五反田を愛する森田さんですが、五反田といえばステーキの名店ご存知リベラに絶品讃岐うどんに連日行列する鬼ヤンマなどなど激うまグルメの激戦区ですが、五反田在住7年、さらば森田が悶絶すると太鼓判を押す五反田グルメが
牛ご飯。牛ご飯。はい。がもうむちゃくちゃ美味しいので、それを食べに行こうかな。牛丼ですか？いや違いますね。牛丼なんてそんな庶民が使う言葉じゃないです。
牛丼とは全く違う牛ご飯が味わえるお店が五反田駅から徒歩5分、リバーライトビル地下1階の奥に居を構える食堂戸高。店内はこじんまりとしたカウンター8席だけのお店ですが、今五反田で予約が殺到していると話題の創作和食のお店。戸高のメニューどれも見た目が強烈で、
もう何食ってもうまいんで、本当に。はい。ウニオンザ煮卵もめっちゃうまいです。ウニオンザ煮卵。大丈夫？名前でウニオンザ煮卵。いや、むちゃくちゃうまい、これも。出た。はい。ウニオンザ煮卵です。これがうまいのよ。
これがうまい。
こちらも戸高の人気メニューウニオンザ煮卵。トロットロの煮卵の上にたっぷりウニとこれでもかイクラを盛り付けた贅沢な一品。
Cool. All right. There we go. All right, let's get episode 4 started. Hedgehog's Dilemma.
甘納豆をクラッカーで挟んでいただく甘納豆チーズタワーや、餃子の皮の代わりに鶏皮で鶏皮餃子などがありますが、とびっきりの見た目を誇るのが牛ご飯。誰もが思わずリアクションする五反田の牛ご飯とは。
お待たせしました。出たー。何これ。これ。
And that should do it. There's just a little mismatch between the subtitle timing. Okay, cool. Alright, so everything looks good. Yeah, and Belio, if you're in Japan, yeah, probably the best thing you can get is a Netflix account. Find SubDub. Now SubDub, if it's on Firefox, you kind of have to go to the GitHub site and download the latest update, because they haven't updated the one for the, because you can't, because I don't know, I guess for some reason the Firefox app plugin, Firefox plugin, can't be updated yet, but you can get the update to make it work on GitHub, or use the Chrome, in which case, yeah, bring it up on Chrome and download all the subtitles you need. As far as getting the TV shows, what I use is PlayOn. Now it's a $30 subscription per year to get the lease for the program, but I find it works great. I just download it. Now you don't have to. There's other places you can go to get, a full series. But sometimes they're not. Netflix is pretty good. So I figure that way it's like, hey, you're not messing with. Don't have to mess with VPNs or torrents or anything. So life's a little easier personally. All right, let's get started. So this is going to be episode 4, Hedgehog's Dilemma. Okay. See how long this takes. Let's see, what is the time right now? 1:25. So it's definitely going to take over 2 hours, but such is life. Let's see, Keibue? Keiteki. Okay. Keiteki. 目覚ます。
あいつ今日もずる休みするつもりかしら。
ずれ休み Skipping school? ずれ休み
シンジ君起きなさい。いつまで学校休む気？もう5日目よ。初号機はもう完全に治ってるのよ。パイロットのあなたがそんなことでどうするの？シンジ君？家出か無理もないわね。
ダメ逃げ出した後
シンジ君？
碇君と同じクラスの相田と鈴原と申します。
相田君と鈴原君。
はい、僕が鈴原です。
もしかして初号機のエントリープラグに入った？
はい、その説はとんだご迷惑をおかけしました。実はあれから碇君がずっと休んでらっしゃるので気になって見に寄らせてもうたんですが。
シンジ君はね、今ネルフの訓練施設にいるの。
あ、そうですか。あ、これ机に溜まってたプリント。碇君。
わざわざ悪いわね。ありがとう。
ほな、僕ら失礼します。碇君によろしくお伝えください。
ええ、伝えるわ。じゃあ。
Katsuragi. It said Katsuragi, Katsuragi. Okay.
This これは予想外の展開だ。
予想外。That's actually 展開。Well, not what you expect. Unexpected. 展開。展開。これは予想外の展開だ。
えらいべっぴんさんやったな。
べっぴんさん。べっぴん。異常の美しい。OK。お。えらいべっぴんさんやったな。
信じたバカ！
うん。
バカ。
走行音。
次は長尾峠です。お出口右側に変わります。
環状線。第7環状線。
誠にありがとうございます。この電車は当駅にて回送電車となります。どちら様もお忘れ物のないようにご降車ください。
帰らなきゃ。
お兄さん、ちょっとお兄さん、お兄さん、お兄さん。
探知。
そうだ、直径数十ミリの物体が高速の数十%という速度で南極に激突したのだ。
直径 straight and across。Light speed 高速の数。Guess that's talking about the impact of the meteor. Interesting. So the Earth's axis. Taiki. Ganioro to Taiki. Yūko. I guess the atmospheric currents. So I know there's a lot of there's like not too much conversation going on, but instead of skipping it, I'm just gonna let it play out. I just might like pay attention to what's happening on screen, just so I get the story. I was thinking at first that like I'd skip over this part, but you know, maybe I get a chance just to read some of the stuff they write in the background. was annoying. Kasenaru. Okay. Fukimi. Fukimi no oto. Chirping? 鳥のさえずり。Yeah, there's just not too much conversation going on, at least in this first half. I don't know what the second half's going to be like. I mean, I could be offering commentary about, the transportation system that, again, that kind of matches up with what we're used to in Japan. But
14歳だもんね。人類の存亡を背負わせるのは
存亡存亡の存亡の背負わせる
やっぱ酷よね。でも私たちはエヴァの操縦を14歳の子供たちに委ねざるを得ないのよ。
委ねる委ねざるの
分かってる。で、シンジ君から連絡はないの？ないわ。彼もう戻らないかもしれない。どうするつもり？別に戻らないならその方がいいかも。なぜ？この間の戦闘の後でさ、どうして私の命令を無視したの？
ごめんなさい。
あなたの作戦責任者は私でしょ？
はい。
あなたには私の命令に従う義務があるの。
義務があるの。
わかるわね。
はい。
今後こういうことのないように。
はい。
あんた本当に分かってんでしょうね。
はい。
あんたね、何でも適当にハイハイ言ってりゃいいってもんじゃないわよ。
分かってますよ、ちゃんと。もういいじゃないですか、勝ったんだから。
そうやって表面だけ人に合わせていれば楽でしょうけどね。そんな気持ちでエヴァに乗ってたら死ぬわよ。
いいですよ、そんなの。
いい覚悟だわと言いたいとこだけど、褒められると思ったら大間違いよ。碇シンジ君、
褒められるも何もどうせ僕しか乗れないんでしょ。乗りますよ。
なるほどね。あの子にとってエヴァに乗ることが苦痛でしかないのなら、もう
苦痛でしか
乗らない方がいいわ。絶対死ぬもの。でもパイロットは必要よ。
小隊長殿。
小隊 隊長。That's an officer. 隊長殿。
あいだ、行くんだ。しかし自分は小隊長殿を置いては進めません。
隊長。隊長殿。
バカモン。
うん。
よっと。転校生。イカリ。
うん。Gets close to people, he hurts those he gets close to, so he keeps them at a distance, something like that. There was a cartoon, or a virtual reality cartoon called Henry the Hedgehog, who loved to hug people, but when he hugged them, he hurt them. So it was a fun little cartoon. They kind of solved the problem by giving him a friend who is a turtle, so he can hug the turtle and not hurt the turtle. So it's like, find friends that you don't hurt. Might work out for the best. So it's one of those things like sometimes you form friendships and comrades are in the same job as you, because again you both know where you're coming from, so you can be kind of accepting of the problems that where you work bring into your life. Maybe. Of course, you also have run into the problem where that's oh crap! Why do I forget the words like that? But you kind of enable maybe some bad habits that are not good in social interactions. So you got to be a little careful. Got to be. I mean, you got to get out of that safe zone. Like it might feel comfortable, but I don't know. It's kind of maybe it's one of those other things. Like if you put more at risk for somebody you know, but then again, never mind. We're going into kind of some philosophies here. Here we go.
当時のやつさ、反省してた。妹に説教されたらしいよ。私たちを救ってくれたのはあのロボットなのよって、小学校低学年に説教されんなっての本当な。夜はいいよな。あのうるさいセミが鳴かないから。小さい頃は静かでよかったけど毎年増えてる。
生態系が戻ってるって。
生態
美里さんが言ってた。
美里さんね。まったく羨ましいよ。あんな綺麗なお姉さんと一緒に住んでてエヴァンゲリオンを操縦できて、一度でいいから思いのままにエヴァンゲリオンを操ってみたい。
やめた方がいいよ。お母さんが心配するから。
ああ、それなら大丈夫。俺そういうのいないから。碇と一緒だよ。飯食うだろ。
いつもこんなことしてんの？
まあな。
ゲリラ戦にでもなった時のための。
ゲリラ Guerrilla warfare. Guerrilla? Guerrilla sen. Yeah, no, it's guerrilla. So I guess they're doing it the French. So guerrilla. So okay, instead of guerrilla, like we mispronounce it in English. Guerrilla.
訓練。
こんなおもちゃで何ができるんだよ。好きでやってるだけさ。
碇真司君だね。
はい。
ネルフ保安庁本部のものだ。
保安庁、let's see this. 保安? That's insurance or maintenance. Okay. Not if a 保安? Shohobu. Choho. Let me see that kanji again. Really? Huh. I thought I'd seen that kanji before, but okay. That's not a common kanji. Chohobu. It's a simple kanji. Okay.
保安条例第8項の適用により、
保安条例?
君を本部まで連行する。いいね。
はい。
そんでお前黙って見てただけやっちゅうんかい。
なこと言ったって向こうはネルフの保安庁本部プロなんだよ。
それがどないしたんや。お前それでもまたんきついとんのか。
Matanki. Sweet tongue.
勝てない喧嘩するやつはバカなの。まあ短期は関係ないの。
短期。ああ、まあ短期は関係ないよ。Nerv.
しばらくね。
はい。
この2日間ほっつき歩いて気が晴れたかしら。
別に。
エヴァのスタンバイできてるわ。乗る？乗らないの？
叱らないんですね、家出のこと。当然ですよね。美里さんは他人なんだから。もし僕が乗らないって言ったら初号機はどうするんですか？
レイが乗るでしょうね。乗らないの？
そんなことできるわけないじゃないですか。彼女に全部押し付けるなんて。
押し付ける。
大丈夫ですよ。乗りますよ。
乗りたくないの？
そりゃそうでしょ。第一僕には向いてませんよ、そういうの。だけど綾波や美里さんや律子。
綾波。いや。
いい加減にしなさいよ。人のことなんか関係ないでしょ。嫌ならここから出て行きなさい。エヴァや私たちのことは全部忘れて元の生活に戻りなさい。あんたみたいな気持ちで乗られんのは迷惑よ。サードチルドレンは
サードチルドレン。サード。Oh, third children. サードチルドレンは
明日第三新東京を離れます。
では初号機のデータはレイに書き換える。
しかし
0号機の再起動実験の結果の遺憾によらず、
遺憾によらず、遺憾によらず。結果の
初号機での実験に移る。マルドゥク機関の報告によると、
たまたまのエネルギーをマルド機関の報告によると、
フォースチルドレンはまだ見つかっていない。
フォースチュールはまだ見つかっていない。
パイロットの補充は効かないということですか。
補充を
美里さんはどこですか？一言お別れを。
君はすでにネルフの人間ではない。どのようなことも教えられない。
ちょっといいですか？ありがとう。
王子、喋れよ。ほら。怒り、2発もどついたりして悪かった。わしのこともどついてくれ。
そんなことできないよ。
頼む。せやないとわしの気が済まん。こういう恥ずかしいやつなんだよ。
違いないと。
ま、それで丸く収まるんなら殴ったら。
丸く収まる。それで
でも
はよ、時間ないんやろ。
じゃあ一発だけ。
よし、今回あった。手加減なしや。
手加減なしよ。
いたたたた。
どうしてここが？
勘ってやつだよ。ここんとこ何十人って同級生を見送ってきたんだ。怒りがおらんのやったら。
おらん。
いずれわしらもこの町から出ていかんならんようなるやろ。せやけどわしら何も言われへん。エヴァの中で苦しんでる怒りの姿見てるからな。怒りのことごちゃごちゃ抜かすやつがおってみ。
ごちゃごちゃごちゃごちゃ。
わしがパチキかましたる。そない新規臭い顔すんなや。
新規臭い新規臭い。そんなに新規臭い。
元気でな。
新規臭い。うん。
頑張れや。時間だ。
ほら、殴られなきゃならないのは僕だ。僕は卑怯で。
卑怯で。卑怯者。あ、damn it。僕は卑怯で卑怯者。
臆病で。
卑怯、臆病。
ずるくて弱虫だ。
ずるくてずるい。うん。ずるくて弱虫で。
これ以上手を焼かせるな。
手を焼かせる。これ以上手を焼かせるわ。Was that in Zakaru? 遠ざかる。遠ざかるのしようと。
エヴァ初号機は起動システム書き換え準備のため第二次冷却に入ります。行っちゃったわね。これでよかったの。
フェーズ2。マリ。変更先を。作業。
山嵐のジレンマか。身を寄せるほど相手を傷つける。こういうことか。あの子もああいう言い方でしか自分の気持ちを伝えられないんだわ。
うん。次。
日本の方はまだ空気側には入れません。なお
be a case, right? Show. Yes. Okay.
動画のない方の操作は固く禁じられております。くれぐれもご注意ください。
硬い、硬く。禁じ。禁。禁じられておりません。くれぐれ。Let's see, くれぐれ again. くれぐれ。
頑張ってね。
あれ、あの時のべっぴんさんや。
べっぴんさん。ほら。
まもなく4番線に高齢期各駅停車が参ります。危ないですから黄色い線の内側までお下がりください。
And you hear that all the time in every train station, like 黄色い線の側までお下がりください. Yeah, stay behind the yellow lines. ゴーラ。See if that's a.
ご利用の皆様はご乗車になってお待ちください。
Johnny.
ただいま。おかえりなさい。他人との接点を最小限にとどめ生きていく
他人との接点。Connection. Point contact. 他人との接点。Smallest amount. The smallest connection. Minimum amount.
Ayanamiレイ。彼女が心を開くのは碇司令だけだった。自分より父に近い少女にシンジは戸惑う。次回「レイ心の向こうに」。
心の向こうに。Alright, cool. Alright, let's turn up the volume. Alright, awesome. Yeah, so obviously that one went a lot faster than the first one. Similar with the first 2 episodes, like you had the one with the battle that took a longer time to get through, and then the one afterwards kind of like much slower, so it was easier to get through. You know, a lot of the words that come up in regular conversation just is much easier to follow, which is good, by the way. I mean, you want to aim for that. I mean, it's sort of like what you do find out when it comes to if let's say you're one of those people who want to go learn Japanese and to study in Japan. But remember, you want to study in Japan not to get better in Japanese. You're studying Japan because you want to study something that happens to be in Japan. It might be something special, like you know, something cultural related, something related to the culture or whatnot, or could it be, you know, sciences? Because again, it's very good science. You know, a lot of good research happens in Japan. So I mean, if you study in Japan, you can actually probably learn a lot there. So the idea is always you get good in Japanese. Let's say you get up to, let's say, an M1. You've gotten your 10,000 vocabulary under your belt. You know, you've read, you know, 500 hours to 1,000 hours worth of books. Probably more. The more you read, the better, obviously. You know, you've done that. So now what you're doing is you're using Japanese to learn in Japanese. So that's what you want to do. Then you get better. So in this case, so you get the vocabulary down so that of the particular thing that you're specializing in, and then that's just, you know, everything else. All you're doing is basically, like, if you think about it, it's like cut and paste. Cut and paste at the beginning is a very bad thing to do because you're going to be saying stuff unnaturally. Cut and paste when it just comes to having set phrases and then changing out a word that's connected, that is being used in relation to that phrase, and that's fine because I guess that's when it comes with output. So I mean, part of it is like, God, I kind of got off my point there, but it's going to be, is like, I think, you know, you always hear, like, when you learn a language, we need to learn something specialized in a language. There's maybe in a special area of interest, there's only like 500 additional new words you have to worry about. So just learn those words and ahead of time, kind of front load that, and it just makes your process in that particular area of expertise easier if you happen to be doing something in Japanese in that area of expertise. You know, I'm getting the feeling like, you know, again, I know this gentleman who I think I talked about earlier. He knew a lot about Japanese history, but he doesn't know Japanese. So I'm pretty sure, though, if he started learning Japanese, he might then start appreciating the history that he's learning. Because again, a lot of these words start making a lot more sense. Like some of the names and places, and maybe even some of the, you know, orders or commands or something that happened during the history. It's like a lot of the stuff starts making much more sense. But he's got to, you got to get over that kind of hill. But that's just the hill, just get started. Then of course you get the hill, so the 2,000 words. You got to do that long climb from 2,000 to 10,000 words, where, you know, again, where you understand 98% of the language. All right, so it's just now that tens of thousands of words fall into that 2% gap. And you don't have to worry about those tens of thousands of words, all of them. You just worry about the portion that's related to whatever you're happen to be dealing with. Hence the benefit of, if you do have these resources like these vocabulary scan or the text analysis tools, you can actually find those words that are important to this area of expertise, as long as you got the material that's in a digital format, and boom, you know, you're good to go. And you could do that kind of with, I mean, I guess it's just getting the collection in there, but, you know, like, I could imagine like this, and like this particular story along with Full Metal Alchemist, along with Attack on Titan. Those, you're going to be getting a lot of military terms. So even if there's like military terms in this one that, you know, pop up now and again, just, you know, as kind of like push the story along, a majority of the words are not those military related. But then when you go over 3 different stories, those military terms start coming up more and more, just on the frequency. So you may find out, if you start doing, the way I was saying about when it comes to studying Japanese, the way I'm approaching it now is, okay, I'm going to take a story. Let's say, you know, I've studied a drama, and so it's about 10 to 12 hours of drama. So there's all the scripts. So this game comes out to about 300,000 characters. However many sentences that is, like 1,800 or whatever. I forget the total number of sentences. Most of the sentences you can actually do a search and get rid of all of them, because a few of them are quite like repeated. Go through a scanner, a frequency analysis tool, and you get like a bunch of words. Just learn about the top 100 words that you don't already know for that particular drama Cool. Then you add in the sentences from the next drama. You keep the old sentences that you haven't deleted yet because they're like N+2 or higher, or they're, you know, again, you're in one words, but you don't need to learn those words yet because they're not in the top 100 you wanted to learn. Cool. So then you bring in the next group of sentences, and now it goes through, and now it's going to rearrange all what are the most frequent words that you don't know yet, and then you just learn the next 100. So sometimes it'll be related to the previous show you watch, and most of it's going to be with the new show. Then add in another show, and then again, get re-ranking. What you're slowly doing is you're finding common words to learn that pop up throughout all the dramas you watch, as well as the common words that are in that particular drama. And the benefit for that is if you like to do the background audio, which is audio from, if you just watch, like you did what I did, and I read through the show once, did this deep, it's not really deep, this deep reading of it, where you look up every word you don't know, so you understand as much of the story as possible without fully studying it. Cool. So you want to play that on audio loop. But then when you're learning these words, and you get more and more out of the audio, because now you're seeing these sentences, and these sentences just stand, and vocabulary just stand out a lot more because now you've actively learned it. So now it's in your active comprehension, and so you do notice that more when it's in this, when you're listening to it on repeat in the background audio. You know, so you just, it's kind of like a slow build, and it may sound tedious, but over time, like if you did this for like, imagine you did this for like 20 light novels, and you look at that, that's 6 million to 7 million characters, Japanese characters that you've kind of gone through, and you've probably picked up like 2,000 vocabulary out of 20 books, and I think you'd be doing pretty good. And you know, just a slow build. It may be a fun way of building your vocabulary, and then at the end also you build your listening comprehension, because there's audio related to what you've been learning. So you've got to be able to read the words and hear the words and comprehend the words when you hear it. Just an idea. Now, it's not something I'm going to be showing on video, but if you go to the Let's Learn Japanese, the Discord channel, and on there you got some guys that they do what's called deep dive. Now that's a little different in that they take a book that they're reading and they're learning from it, and so they're using sentence mining a drama or an anime, and they're going from the entire anime going for a 98% comprehension, meaning, hey, they want to make sure learn all the words so that they pretty much any word in there's a 98% chance they know it. All right, and that they're going in that way. So it's similar to what I'm doing. I just approach it slightly different in that I'm not going for 90% of a show, but by the time I'm done, most likely I'll understand 98% of the show by the time I'm on my 5th show. Because, again, I've probably gotten as much out of that drama as needed for what I need to learn. And so I'm not learning words that are relevant just to that drama and don't appear anywhere else. I'm learning words that are probably unique to the drama because they appear a lot, so it's very relevant to that drama. And also words that are relevant to all dramas, but they don't appear a lot in any one particular drama. They just happen to show up a lot over all of them, if that makes sense. Dr. Merlot 5 or next time. I want to get into Japanese research. They had some some very good, very good. What I liked about is the study of nuclear power. I do think nuclear power research is a really good field that needs to be expanded upon. Especially in the look of, you know, molten salt reactors. So benefit of molten salt reactors is that if you ever knew how nuclear power works, is they like to use water is like something that can help absorb neutrons. So it helps with controlling the reaction. But to use water, you have to keep it in a liquid state. You can't use it in a gas state. You got to say a liquid state. But it's hot. So if it's like, let's say 600 degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius, sorry. If it's operating at 600 degrees Celsius, you got to keep that under a lot of pressure. So if it's like you say 100 psi, let's say atmospheres. If you put it at like 20, 30, 100, you know, like high atmosphere pressure, that means that if there's a break, whew, all that water flashes into steam and fills up the space. That's the reason why a lot of your nuclear power plants are like really big in volume. Is that in the event that the hot water if there's a leak in the main cooling system, and the cooling system is like super hot because it's you know, if it does, everything's going to steam. So you need to make sure that space can be filled. Otherwise, you're going to have a even bigger explosion. It's not a nuclear explosion; it's a pressure explosion. So you want to avoid that. But if you're doing molten salt reactor, salt at a liquid state, also it's liquid at, let's say, 600 degrees Fahrenheit. It turns gases at 1200. So you can keep it at atmospheric pressure, right? And because it's a liquid, if you know about chemistry, liquids and gases are better for chemistry. If it's a solid, stuff doesn't mix so well, and that creates some problems. In fact, that's the reason why you have what's called, let's say, nuclear waste. It's not really nuclear waste, it's spent rods, in that it's a solid fuel. In that's about something been, the uranium-235 is raised to about a 5% level. Normally it's like a 0.7% level. So that's enriched uranium, okay? That makes sense. And so they hit that with neutrons, it heats up, boom, okay, that's fine. It's a carbon rod, so it doesn't melt. So that's the idea there. Hence the meltdown means that the carbon rods turns into a liquid. And that's a problem in the fact that it makes it containment or controlling the neutron flow difficult. So that's the problem with it, because again it's in a solid state. But that also means that all that 5% of uranium, they only use about maybe 5% of that usable, that good uranium-235, that fissile material. So then the rest, you still got this rod that's full of good fissile material, but you have to reprocess it. It means you got to melt it down, use chemistry in order to get the uranium out of there, and then repackage that back into a uranium rod. But they don't like doing that, because when you do nuclear power with uranium, one of the byproducts you can get is what's called the uranium-238, because you want the uranium-235, that's the fissile. Uranium-238, that's what you hear in depleted uranium. It absorbs a neutron, becomes uranium-239, and that becomes plutonium. And so when they were saying about reusing or repurposing the fuel, I forgot, you got to use the right term, sorry. By melting it down and being able to get rid of the uranium, then you're also able, if you want to, pick off the plutonium, which is fissile itself. And it's easier to get plutonium from uranium than trying to get a uranium-235 from uranium-238. Because you think about uranium-235, U-38, it looks the same chemically. So it's just 3 neutrons, one's 3 neutrons heavier. So the only way you can separate those two out is like melt it down, spin it in what's called a cyclotron, and is it cyclotron? Maybe whatever the word is. So you spin that out, and then obviously the stuff at the bottom is heavier. So you assume a majority of that liquid uranium at the bottom of the cyclotron is uranium-238. So you want the stuff on the top, uranium-235. That's the lighter material. That's the stuff you want. Anyway, what I'm just saying though, if you go to molten salt reactors, now you're using something a little different. Usually, you could use it with uranium. Normally, you use thorium is probably a better case, but you don't have to. But again, it's liquid, and the salt keeps the energy quite well. In fact, I'll even go so far, if you know about molten salt, you can actually use molten salt in solar power. Because if you ever go into the deserts of like Arizona, you see these array of mirrors, and it's pointing up to this tower. So in the tower, actually, you're going to have, it's melting salt into a liquid, and then the liquid can flow down, and then you can run that to a generator. So you don't put the generator at the top of that tower. That's where the heat's collected at. So you need to run salt over there, melting the salt into a liquid form up to 600 degrees Fahrenheit or 600 degrees Celsius, and then the liquid can flow on down, and now you can use this hot liquid in order to run your generators, if that makes sense. It could also use that as a storage. So the idea is like, okay, it's going to take a while for this heat to dissipate. So you just run it through let's say the ground, through the tubes in the ground, so the heat doesn't transfer very well in the ground. So it keep the heat for a while. And yeah, so that becomes your way of storing thermal or solar power. But if it works with solar, then the same type of technology, the same type of science, engineering, same type of engineering you have to do for molten salt in solar power, then applies to nuclear power. Although you got to be really careful, because when you deal with nuclear power, is that shit gets hit with neutrons, and then it reacts when it gets hit with neutrons. So you got to be, you're trying to look for stuff that doesn't want to absorb. You need something that has atomic properties where it doesn't like to absorb neutrons, because you don't want to. You really don't want to waste neutrons, and it's called neutron economy, because the neutrons are the stuff that makes the atoms split. And the more you have, the easier it is to better your chance for splitting, your fissile material. So yeah, that's just called neutron economy. I don't know why I got into this. It's just that again, he mentioned about the sciences, and it just remembered, like, again, in Japan, you've got the tokamak reactor, which is a fusion reactor. And again, fusion is a future tech. We're able to do it. You can do it in a really nasty way called the thermonuclear explosion, but we try to control it. But fusion is very difficult in the fact you're basically you're trying to make two very small objects hit each other that don't want to hit each other. They want to repel each other. Whereas with fission, you're hitting a bunch of bullets you're aiming a bunch of bullets at something that likes to attract the bullets. And when it takes in that bullet, it splits into two, and it splits out two other bullets. So I liked how one guy explained, it's like, imagine if you're playing, fusion would be like you're playing miniature golf, but it's like a 10-foot mountain with this little small hole on the top. You gotta hit the ball just right to get into the hole for it to work. Whereas fission would be like the hole is at ground level, and you're surrounded by a bunch of golf balls, and anytime the golf ball goes into the hole, two more pop out. I mean, it just makes it it's just that much easier to do. So, and unfortunately, the problem with fission is that it has an emotional problem. People hear fusion, they think, oh, it's bad bombs, or they hit 3 Mile Island, Chernobyl, Fukushima, and so yeah, but it's a mental thing. It can be engineered. It has engineered safety, and they should research more now. But the problem is that most of your nuclear power plants are what I said previously, which is they're called light water reactors, which means, hey, since it's using water as the regulating coolant, then again it has to be it's as the regulator, though it's at a high temperature, meaning high pressure, meaning if there's a problem, it's a big problem. Boom. And again, that's just the danger of flash steam. Anybody who works in a power plant, even a normal power plant, knows that steam pipes and water under high pressure, that's a very dangerous thing. It just is super dangerous, and you want to try to avoid that as much as you can. Even there's some limits to that. I don't know. Anyway, I'm talking too much. Dr. Malo, it's interesting stuff. I don't know much about the engineering stuff, but I do know some of the theoretical stuff on particle physics. Someday I want to, computer. In fact, with nuclear power, I mean, there's actually some pretty good programs that show what happens with, the decay path. Let's say, because when you're hitting, uranium, both uranium-235 and 238, because it's usually at a 5% yield. In military nuclear power plants, it's a lot higher, but usually commercial, it's at 5%. And you want to find out that, again, it's not a guarantee, so it's on chances. So, but chance over time, you got some predictable results. So you can say, hey, this is what it's going to decay into when it absorbs a neutron, gets hit, or you got the transuranics when it splits. Is that actually transuranics when it doesn't split? I think the transuranics are the decay elements. Then you have also the elements of the parts where it splits. So some of those are also radioactive. This means it's putting out either a gamma, most likely gamma, but sometimes also beta. Like I want to say uranium-230. Let's see, 238, 239. So I'm trying to think. What is the uranium that is that they use for? Oh no, I'm sorry. Plutonium-238. Never mind. I apologize. Plutonium-238 is like a heavy beta emitter, and the beta emitters are kind of cool, especially if because like plutonium-238, it isn't explosive, so you can hit it with a neutron. It's not going to blow up, but it's heavy beta emitter, and this beta emitter, what they can do is surround it with the machine, and that's how you get its thermoelectric generator. I think that's what it's called. So it's thermonuclear electric generator. Thermonuclear sounds bad. active radio emitter generator. I forget the word for it, but anyway, the idea is like, okay, because it's putting off these beta particles in a predictable, in a even fashion, you can actually turn it into a generator. So it's like it's putting out 100 watts of heat, which is a good amount of heat. Well, I guess that depends on how much plutonium you have, but but yeah, it's the stuff they put in satellites. That's how you power satellites for deep space probes, because you're not going to get enough sunlight aimed at the satellite in order for it to operate off solar for a very long time. It has to depend mainly on, for it to be a functional satellite with a lot of sensors and whatnot, it needs, like, let's say 25 pounds of plutonium-238, you know. And the benefit is, like you're running out of it. Most of it you get it from Russians, but you know, if you use, let's say, if you do molten salt reactors with thorium, you create, one of the byproducts is plutonium-238, which is very useful. There's some other byproducts as well that are useful for medical, right? Because you know, when you have something that can decay in a predictable pattern, you can actually put it into and let's say connect it to certain medicines, let's say a person's white blood cells, and get it to where it attracts to a specific cancer cell, and boom, or inject it in the cancer site, and it's only killing the cancer in the area. So you know, again, you want to target the radiation, whereas most chemotherapy, you're being blanketed in radiation. That's a problem. So now, you know, some of the good parts of your body are getting attacked and weakened by the radiation. You kind of want to concentrate the form. And that's kind of the reason why I'm mentioning all this, is that that's the beauty of nuclear power, in that you can develop technology in order to control nuclear power that offsets into other fields, that helps other fields as well. Because like if you're doing molten salt and it's 600 degrees of heat, so you don't have to do it where you're generating power. You got this enormous amount of heat. Well, if you're into engineering, you know that, hey, a lot of the stuff you do for engineering is related to needing a heat source. You know, if you're doing for recycling is power dependent. It's not about sorting. Sorting, that's just that's labor dependent. But recycling, where you're taking metal and then melting, you got to melt it down and then whatever, do the chemistry to make it reusable, and then put that into a product that you can then ship back out to the manufacturing plants. Well, yeah, you need power to do that, and nuclear power is really good in the fact that the beauty of nuclear power, you can get uranium or thorium about a fist size of this is like a fist size of uranium or thorium, and we're just talking 238, not 235. We're just talking normal uranium, normal thorium. Still has enough energy potential as multiply 2 million fists. So yeah, so it's like that much power is in the equivalent of 2 million let's say a baseball, 2 million baseballs of oil compared to one baseball of thorium. You know, and thorium's not that rare. And why am I talking like this? It's kind of because, you know, you see something like Neon Genesis Evangelion. This is about power sources, and a lot of stuff that you do requires power. Without power, you can't move stuff. I mean, you're not getting enough solar. Solar is cute and all, but you know, again, you got to think surface area. How much of the, you know, solar is about, at most, if you're on the equator during noon, is at most 1 kilowatt per square meter. All right, it's useful and whatnot, but you need a lot of square meters in order to get benefits of solar power. So, you know, and it has to be during the day, whereas nuclear and oil can burn it, or coal can burn at night, and consistently it doesn't worry about cloud coverage. It's kind of cool. Now the benefit though, if you do have some type of area where, like wind, where there's, you know, consistent wind blowing, yeah, obviously put your wind turbine generators in that area. If you got a place where there's consistent sunlight, yeah, put your solar plants there, especially if you got the area for it. You know, maybe, you know, put solar panels. Now, solar panels is not what you use for solar plants. Solar plants, because you know, solar panels is like 15% conversion rate, or even less than that. It's like you may get a meter square, but you're not going to get 1 kilowatt of electricity. You're going to get a lot less than that, because the conversion rate is going from solar to electricity is, you know, again, you lose stuff in the conversion. Sorry about that. Hey guys, what's up? I'm an artist. Hey artist. EVA is old school. Okay. Sorry, I'm just, for some reason, was talking about nuclear power. All right, let me get off of that. Thank you all very much. I'll try to do episodes 5 and 6 tomorrow. If, like again, because this first episode took a lot longer. It took me about an hour to get through the first episode. Second episode, about 40 minutes. It was a lot less. There was very little talking, so that helped. You were just playing through. But this is an enjoyable episode. Or, I'm sorry, I haven't seen the whole series. What I've seen so far, and I think this is the episode, this is the first I've ever watched this show. Before I decided, hey, I'm not going to ruin it for myself. I want to do it. This is basically a live reaction in a way. It's so far so good. I mean, I really like it. And so yeah, I look forward to finishing the series. I probably won't watch the movies that have been made for it. Maybe not, but probably not. I'm not going to. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And remember, after this, if I do it at 2 episodes a day, it's going to take me 13 days. After this, I'm going to go back, finish up Harry Potter Book 2, the second half of that. And then when I get back back in the anime, the next anime I'm planning is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. And what I've also decided to do is add in Steins Gate. So I'll do Full Metal Alchemist, Steins Gate, Attack on Titan, and then One Punch Man. So those are the 3. Although part of me wants to do instead, I think for some reason I think One Punch Man would be more fun. Although Mob Psycho 100, but yeah, I'll probably keep it to One Punch Man. So those will be the animes which I do, and then I go back to where I'm doing dramas, and I'm gonna then do regular Japanese novels. I might decide whether I want to read an entire novel or just read, like the first part of it, like I did here, where I do like 200 pages, and then do I, again, we'll see how that works. Like, just do the first 200 pages or something maybe, and then I'll just read the book normally on my own. We'll see how that goes when it gets to it. Part of me is like, do I really want to, like, let's say the one book I'm reading is 600 pages, so it's about the same length. It's the same length as Harry Potter, although Harry Potter is probably less dense in word count than the pages. So who knows? But like Harry Potter Book 3 is 600 pages. The Ryusei no Kizuna is 600 pages, which I'm reading through. So it would take me roughly the same amount of time when I'm planning this out. Dr. Malo. Mobile Mally, liked your mini rant on energy. Just came in as you finished the stream. That's a nice item. Yeah. Okay. We'll leave it at that. So be back tomorrow with episodes 5 and 6. Maybe 7, depending on how fast I get through them. This day was a lot smoother. In fact, yeah, I think maybe an hour 40 minutes total if I just counted the time which I was watching, trying to get through the show. Yeah, and yeah, I think about an hour 40 minutes. So it's not too bad. And as time goes on, it's going to get fast because I'm not going to be worrying about the intro song. I'll probably stop going over that. I might go over that one or two more times because that's kind of interesting. And yeah, vocabulary is going to repeat, so I get more and more comfortable with that. But I do also know from my understanding of the show, it's going to get more philosophical, metaphysical. I don't know what the whole thing's going to be. And yeah, we'll carry on from there. And I also know, because I spoiled myself, I did spoil myself about why his character, Shinji's character, can connect so well to that Evangelion unit. So yeah, I kind of feel bad spoiling myself on that one, but I guess it kind of makes sense in the long run. But it's gonna, if he finds out, yeah, it's gonna be really, I can imagine that being a mindfuck on him. Time will tell. Cool. Thank you all very much for the comments. In fact, let me write down. Thank you for watching. Thanks for watching. Okay. and I'll be back tomorrow. And yeah, just keep going. Thank you all very much. It's been Green. See you later.